What's up, everybody? How's it going? Good to see you guys. You can go ahead and start commenting if you're here so I know what's up. Go ahead and let me know something you guys did today. Just curious, Not much happening these days, so gotta live through you. So go ahead and let me know in the comments something fun you did today, or what's up, Lexi? I love you too. I miss you. Got a FaceTime tomorrow. What you been up to today, Lexi? Hey, what's up, Caitlin? Owen? What's good, you guys? Good to see you. What's something fun you guys did today? It doesn't have to be fun, just what did you do today? Hey, what's good, Chris? Good to see you. Leah got her wedding dress. Dang, okay. I don't know if anybody can top that, but that's what's up. I'm going to be asking for pictures, but she probably won't send them to me because it's a secret. Owen, tiled and vacuumed. That sounds like fun stuff right there. Yeah. Went for an hour-long walk around town. Okay, that's what's up, Paige. Okay. That's a good walk, an hour. Okay, Ella's got her run on. Okay, Alexis did some schoolwork. Took a nap. Yes. Chris, he's got overnight shifts this week, so yeah, he needs his rest. Chris is an awesome worker. He's always working hard. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into tonight's message. You guys can keep commenting though. It's all good. You know me, I'll get distracted, but we good. So first of all, just want to say what's up, Craven Velocity. If we have any middle schoolers watching, feel free to comment. I know you might not know everyone from Crave, but we want you to know that we're here for you and we love you. So go ahead and do that. So tonight I want to talk about faith. I know, crazy stuff, crazy. But I want to talk about faith despite kind of all the doubt that's going around right now. I feel like there's a lot of reasons to be down and to be worried and to be stressed with the whole Rona situation. But I do believe that if we gave faith more chances than we do doubt, our lives could be a lot better, but also we could learn a whole lot more about who God is and just kind of know his heart more. So I want to talk about that tonight. I want to read Hebrews 11. And so just listen along with me. This is one of my favorite passages because it just lists off all the crazy, awesome things that God does because people chose to have faith. So I'm going to read this off. It was by faith Noah built an ark to save his family from the flood. It was by faith that Abraham obeyed when God called him to leave home and go to another land that God would give him as his inheritance. It was by faith that even Sarah was able to have a child, though she was barren and was too old. She was like in her 90s, people. But she believed that God would keep his promise. It was by faith that Moses' parents hid him for 3 months when he was born because he would have died otherwise. It was by faith that the people of Israel went right through the Red Sea as though they were on dry ground. But when the Egyptians tried to follow, they all drowned. It was by faith that the people of Israel marched around Jericho for 7 days, and the walls came crashing down. And I know, like, some of that stuff, you're like, did that actually happen? Like, it just sounds crazy, but that's God. Like, he comes through in crazy, awesome, amazing ways. And so it just keeps going, though. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up. And let us run with endurance the race God has set before us. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. Because of the joy awaiting him, he endured the cross, disregarding its shame. Now he is seated in the place of honor beside God's throne. Think of all the hostility he endured from sinful people. Then you won't become weary and give up. It's so good. I love these verses because it just reminds us. It kind of puts everything in perspective. Like nothing is too big for God, nothing is too small, nothing is too medium for God. He can come through no matter what, even if it's by parting a sea or Sarah, she was like in her 90s and she had a baby. Like, it don't matter what it is. If you've got faith for it, if you got faith of a mustard seed, God's going to come through and he's going to show you what's up. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this tonight, because all these things that I just listed off, and by the way, that's not even like half of what Hebrews 11 lists off. So you guys should definitely read that throughout the week. Hebrews 11, just the whole chapter is amazing. And all these things happen because of faith. Because they decided to keep going even when they didn't know the outcome, even when they didn't know if God was going to come through or not. They didn't know their next step. They trusted in God despite everything else, despite the doubt that was surrounding them, despite the people telling them that they're stupid. They believed. They believed that God would come through. They trusted him. They had faith and faith that he would keep his promises. And that's really half the battle a lot of times. But I do just want to say, like, I think when we read about stories in the Bible, we read about these awesome people that had this, oh my gosh. Just disregard the fact that I just started for like 5 minutes straight right there. But it's kind of funny because I'm about to talk about Moses, because I just listed him off too. And what I was about to say is, these people were probably scared. These people probably struggle with anxiety and depression too, just like we do too. And so we tend to romanticize the people in the Bible, like, oh, they don't struggle with things that I struggle with though. Look what they did. Like they set slaves free. They were able to give birth at 90 years old. They were Noah built an ark. Like, I can't do that. But I do just want to say, like, I'm sure they were scared. I'm sure they struggle with things that we did too. Like, look at Moses. God asked him to go into Egypt and talk to Pharaoh and demand that all the slaves be set free and lead them out of Egypt. And Moses had a stuttering issue, what I just dealt with earlier. And he could not talk to people in public, like in front of people. It was like his biggest fear. And so he straight up told God, no, bro, like, ask someone else that can actually do this. And so I just wanted to mention Moses because he ended up, even though he told God no multiple times and told him, I can't do this, he ended up setting a whole generation of slaves free. Generations and generations of slaves walked out of Egypt and through the Red Sea with Moses, because he decided to instead choose faith. And so the difference is they didn't give in to their fear. They didn't believe in their fear. They believed in God. They believed in his promises. They ran his race, not the race of fear, which leaves you with nothing. And in the verse, it literally says, we run the race God has set before us by keeping our eyes on Jesus. It literally gives us the answer. It gives us how to do it. And so if we put our eyes on fear, if we put our eyes on anxiety, if we put our eyes on all the disappointment that's going on in our lives right now, that's where you're going to get led. But instead, if you put your eyes on Jesus, like exactly what the Bible says, you'll run your race with endurance. See, that's what happened. That's what almost happened with Moses. Moses almost didn't listen to God and didn't fulfill what God had for him, which is setting hundreds and hundreds of people, maybe thousands, I don't know, free from slavery. Because instead of at first trusting God, his first response to God was, I can't do it because I have this stuttering problem. I can't do it because I can't talk in front of people. And so his first reaction was fear. His first reaction is, I'm not enough for what you're asking me for. But the difference when you choose faith instead of fear is you're focusing on the fact that I can do it if I'm trusting in God. You can do that thing because God's going to come through and he's going to walk you through it. But if you instead focus on fear and what you can't do, you're not going to be able to get through it because you're not letting God in and able to work through you. Yes, Moses could not have done that on his own, but he did because he chose faith. Eventually, it took a couple times. It took God, asking him again and again, but eventually he said, okay, I'll do it. And God worked through Moses in a way that he never would have been able to set the slaves free on his own. And so I just want you guys to know how important it is to choose faith, to choose to trust God in the midst of seasons where we don't know what's going on. And you really can't run your race while you're believing that you have nothing to give. You shouldn't believe that. You always have something to give. And you also can't run your race if you're just focusing on all these other people in their different lanes, or you're trying to swerve into another person's lane. Like, no, honey, you do you. You stay in your lane. God's got you in this lane for a reason, and he's got them over there for a reason, but you don't know why they're over there. You can only know why you're here, because it's your race, it's your life. And I just want you, every single person, every one of you, Crave and Velocity, I want you to know that God has a specific life for you, a specific giftings, specific things that you like. He placed that in you because he knows you and he knows what you need. And so it won't make sense. Your life won't make sense if you continue to compare it to other people, if you continue to say, yeah, but why are they doing well over here and I'm struggling with this? Or why does it seem like they get all the blessings, they get all the gifts, and I'm left with nothing? It's never going to make sense if you try to compare your life to other people, because your life was never meant to be theirs. Come on, somebody. I'm preaching, so that's okay. And so I just want to say, you're never going to figure out, you're never going to know for sure what your life is if you don't stop and look Jesus in the face and ask him. That's the only way you're going to know what that verse literally said. You'll run your race with endurance once you stop and you look at Jesus. He has your answers. And so I just want to say, he has the gifts, he has the beauty, he has the meaning, your life meaning, he has it. And so I just want to say, like, stop looking everywhere else for it. I've looked so many places for it, but he's had it this whole time. And so you just have to look at him. You just have to look at Jesus and say, okay, I know that you are holding my life right now. I trust that you're holding it. I trust that you have a plan during quarantine when I'm stuck in my room 24/7. I trust that you are growing me in this season. I trust that you have something good for me. And I don't care what they're doing over here, because I know that you have something specific for my life. That's the kind of mentality, that's the kind of thought process that we have to have in this time. And I hate when people tell you what to do, but they don't tell you how to do it. And so I'm going to tell you how. Don't worry. And so it really starts small. First of all, y'all got all the time in the world. So you can come at me saying, oh, I don't have time to spend time with God. Honey, I know you got at least like 15 hours of your day that's just free. So now's the time, all right? And so, guys, I want you guys to start small. Literally, I'm asking for 10 minutes. So you start 10 minutes uninterrupted with you and God. That doesn't mean you're in the living room with your family around, trying to focus on God. That's not going to work. That doesn't mean you have your phone in your hand. That's not going to work. Doesn't mean you're sitting watching a movie while you're, talking to God. Not going to work. Just you and God. No technology, whatever. If you want to throw some music on, cool. But if you know your phone's just going to end up in your hand, go to another room. And so you talk for 5 minutes, okay? You talk to God about what's going on. You let him know what's up. You say, hey, how's it going? Ask him how his day is. So many people don't even ask God how his day is. But we're supposed to be friends. We're supposed to have a relationship. And so start by asking him how he's doing. And so you talk for 5 minutes, and then you listen for 5 minutes. You don't say a word for those next 5 minutes. You are listening. And I don't care if your thoughts are going crazy. I know mine do. I try to sit and just in a quiet room, just say nothing. It's just like some random things just pop into my head, man. But you got to work through it, okay? I believe in you. If I can do it, I know you can. And so 5 and 5. And maybe some of you are already doing this. That's awesome. Super proud of you. But just start with 5 and 5 this week. I want to know how it goes. Let me know. And then eventually you can work your way up to 10 and 10. But just start. You talk for 5, and then you listen for 5. And there's so many other ways you can connect with God too. You can worship. Throw on some worship music, dance around your room, go for a walk and dedicate that time specifically to you and God. Read your Bible with a cup of coffee or a Pepsi or a Coke or whatever your favorite drink is. So you having a drink with God, whatever it is. And I do also want to say, especially with everything going on, and I know a lot of your big events have been canceled. And there's just been disappointment after disappointment. I think it's easy to maybe get frustrated with God or get angry with him and kind of blame things on him. And so I do just want to say, we have a relationship with God, right? And so if you have an issue with your friend, you're not just going to pretend like you don't have the issue. I hope you would actually go to that person and say, look, this made me angry. How can we fix it? How can we move forward? And so you got to do the same thing with God. If you have a bitterness towards him, or you're angry with him, take it to him. And if you got to yell. If you got to get in a fight, okay. That's what people in relationships do. If you've never had a fight with a friend, you're probably not even that close. And so that's okay if you're upset, if you're angry. But what you got to do, you got to do something about it. You got to talk to him about it. You can't just keep giving him the cold shoulder. Like that's not healthy, and that's not good for a relationship. And the fact is, he wants to work it out too. And so my point is relationship. That's what it comes down to. You can't have great faith without first having a relationship with God, and first believing in him. And so I'm just asking, what are you willing to do to grow daily with your relationship with God? And I'm just giving you an easy 5 to 5. I think that's super simple. It's easy to remember, and I think it's something that we could all do as Velocity and Crave and do great at it. And I do just want to say, you can't have faith in something you don't know, in someone you don't know. And so maybe the reason you're struggling in believing in God in this season is because you don't know him, or you did know him, but now you don't. And so I just want to say, get to know him. And so it's okay if you don't have this great faith where you think God's going to come through and everything's going to be great. That's okay. And it's okay that maybe you're even struggling. You don't know what you believe, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, work on your relationship with him. That's all I'm asking. That's where it starts. That's where everything starts, is your relationship with God. Are you talking to him? Are you asking him how his day is? Are you connecting with him in some way? And so Crave and Velocity, I am challenging you this week, wherever you're at. If maybe you don't even believe in God, I don't know everyone who's watching right now, but just start doing 5 to 5. Just talking to him for 5 minutes, listening to 5 minutes, and just see how it goes. Try it for 1 week. 1 week. And don't be lenient with it, okay? If you got to cancel some other plans, if you got to cancel your afternoon nap, to get in your 10 minutes, do it, okay? I'm just asking for 10 minutes every single day. I'm going to be doing it with you too. And so I would love for next week when I go live, for everyone to just comment like how it went. I'd be super excited and would love to hear from you guys. But the fact is, he's always the answer. God is always the answer. You can search the whole world, everywhere, do everything you want, but at the end of the day, you're not going to become full and content until you know him and you look him in the eyes and you have a relationship with him. And so let's continue to grow in our relationship with God. Let's continue to get to know him this week. And that's really all I have for you guys, but I'm excited about it. I'm going to be doing the same thing, 5 and 5. And so I want to hear from you guys. If you want help or you need advice throughout the week, you know me. Most of you have my number. You can find me on Instagram or Crave NNY. But I just love you guys so much. And I hope this was helpful. And I love you and I miss you. But I did just want to point out, Chris put, read Psalms. Lots of people feeling depressed wrote Psalms. So true. I love Psalms because of that. So if you're feeling like you're having a hard time connecting with people in the Bible, read Psalms, and then you'll know the real deal. But I love you all so much. I hope you have a great Wednesday. I hope you have some good snacks at home that you're stocking up on, and you got some cozy pajamas on. I'm not gonna lie, I'm wearing pajama bottoms right now, so yeah. I love you all so much. I hope you have a great night. I'm gonna peace out. Peace and blessings. I love you.